the last thing that I'm going to talk to you guys about tonight with wowing your wedding guests is WedTexts. And WedTexts is the company that my husband and I started almost 2 years ago now. And WedTexts actually got started because of our wedding. So, like I've said a million times in this webinar, we got married in New Orleans. So it was a destination wedding for most of our wedding guests. And we were really concerned about people knowing where to go and what time to be there. And even though we had all this information outlined on our wedding website, and we actually did a printed itinerary, which cost us about $400 to have it printed and given to every guest in their welcome bag, we were still worried about people knowing where to go and what time to be there. And we were really excited to spend time with our guests, and we didn't want anybody getting lost or being late or anything like that. So Caleb, my husband, had been creating a service that allowed people to set scheduled text messages to be sent out. And I asked him, is there any way we can use that text message service for our wedding? And he said, yeah, I think we can do that. So we uploaded all of our guests to this service and sent out text messages to them, reminding them of our events, what time they started, the address where they needed to go, and all that. So we did it for our welcome party, we did it for our rehearsal dinner, we did it for the transportation to our wedding, and then for the brunch the day after our wedding. So it was a hit. Our guests loved it, and it made me feel really kind of calm and relaxed during our wedding weekend, knowing that everybody was going to know where to be and what time to be there, and they weren't going to have to text me, and which was great because I didn't want to be answering a million text messages during my wedding weekend. So after that, WedTexts was born. We had a couple of guests at our wedding who were getting married the next couple months, and they all wanted to use WedTexts at their weddings. So we decided to make it into our company because we thought that there were other people out there who could benefit from the service as well. So I'm going to take some time now to show you guys WedTexts and show you some of the features and see if anyone has any questions. So this is our website, wedtexts.com. And right now, if you go to the website, you can create a free account. And once you do that, then you can kind of see all the different options and see all the services that we provide. So I'm going to kind of walk you through that process. So on the homepage, you'll see here to create a free account. So I'm hovering over it again. Sorry, my cursor's not working, but this blue box on the left hand of your screen. So you're going to click there. And this is where you're going to sign up. So sorry, it's auto-filled, but you're going to put your name. So either bride, groom, whoever can do this. You're going to put your email. Kelly at WedTexts.com. Just checking what my WedText email address is for my husband to review. You're going to set a password. And then after set your password, you're going to click on this bottom here where it says pick a role. If it'll pop up for you guys. For some reason it's not popping up. Let me see if it comes up if I give it a second. Okay, that is strange. It's popping up on my screen. For some reason it's not popping up for you guys. I don't know if it's frozen, but I'm going to move through it and see maybe if it'll show up for you in a second. So when you click pick a role, what pops up is a drop-down menu that says bride, groom, partner, or wedding planner. So for me, I would click bride. So it's showing up in the box, but I don't know why it didn't show you the drop-down menu. But I'll show you, I'll click through the other options so you can see. So you could be groom, partner, wedding planner. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to click bride. And then click the green box for create account. And then you're going to want to put your cell phone number in, because this is a way for us to make sure that you're a real person. However, one of the great things about WedTexts is that all of the text messages that are going to be sent out from WedText to your guests come from our system. So they're not going to come from your cell phone, which means that your guests cannot reply to them directly back to your cell phone, which sometimes people are like, oh, I want them to be able to reply. But let me tell you, you actually probably don't want your guests replying, because if, say you have 100 guests and you send out a message to 100 people, you don't want 100 people texting you back either follow-up questions or just saying like, okay, got it. Think of it more as a one-way notification system. So once you put in your number, then on your phone you'll get a verification text giving you this PIN that you're going to want to put in. So it's a 4-digit PIN. So once you put in your PIN, click verify, and then you're going to start including information about your wedding. So I've already been married, so I'm going to make up a fake wedding here, but I'm actually going to pretend that I'm getting married on my birthday. And then you say the time of your wedding. So let's say the wedding is at 5 p.m. Just click that blue box for AM or PM and it'll switch between. So say my wedding's at 5 p.m. Pretend I'm getting married again in New Orleans. So enter the city, state, and zip code of your wedding. And then you're going to click the green bar for create your wedding. Okay, so this next box that's going to pop up is allowing you to send a test message. So I highly recommend everyone do this so you can see what WedText is going to look like for your guests. So this is a pretend text message. It's just going to go to you. It's just going to go to the number that you put in when you created your account. So click the green bar for send text message. And it should come up to your phone. So here it is. It just popped up on my phone. So it's going to show you that message that was just on the test screen is going to come up to your phone. So you can see this is what WedText will look like for your guests. So prior to receiving any text messages from our service, your guests will get a welcome message from you, basically saying, Kelly and Caleb are using WedText to keep you in the loop for their wedding, and your guests can opt out. So if any guest doesn't want to receive a WedText, that's totally fine, and they can just reply stop to that initial welcome message, and then they won't receive any further messages from you. Okay, so this next page is where you're going to select your plan if you do determine that WedText is right for you and right for your wedding. So our packages are based on the size of your wedding. So 50 guests, 150 guests, 225 guests, or unlimited guests if you have a super large wedding. So I'm going to select this I'm going to select unlimited guests. I guess I have a humongous wedding. Oh.
So do maybe later. I already credited your...
Oh. So my husband's in the wings telling me I'm supposed to click maybe later. So if you're not ready to commit to a package, you would click maybe later. But if you did want to purchase a package, you would click one of the select plan buttons to select the one that matches the number of guests attending your wedding. For the purposes of this tutorial, I'm clicking maybe later because my account has already been credited messages because I know the owner. So now I'm going to walk through the different features on the WedText page. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add my fiance to the account. So I'm going to go down to the bottom of the page, and for some reason it's not showing up. This is so strange. It's not showing up for you guys. But if you look up this kind of gray-black bar on the left hand of your screen, where you see Kelly's wedding at the top and then the date of the wedding, as you go down, you'll see this settings bar here. So, oh, there it is. Okay. So if you click on settings, you're going to see your profile. And here under settings where it says user profile, you can toggle beneath that to the Manage Users and click Manage Users. And this is where you're going to add your fiance. So you click the green Add User. This will pop up. You add your fiance's name. You add their email address. And then, again, you can pick a role for them. For some reason it's not showing up for you, but I'm going to click Groom. And now you click Add User. Okay, so now my fiance is added to my account. So this way you guys can both manage the account together. So you can add guests to the account. Either of you can do this. Either of you can create and edit text messages, add messages, delete messages, complete the blueprint. You guys can do both of that together now once you're both on the account. So you can also add a user and you can add your wedding planner if you have a wedding planner, or if you have a really involved maid of honor or groomsmen or someone else who you want to give this job to. You could add them at this step, and then again they'll have access to everything. So make sure that whoever you choose to add, trust them that they're not going to make any changes that you wouldn't make or add any messages that you wouldn't approve, because they will have full access to your account at that point. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is show you guys how to add your guests. So there's a couple ways to add guests with WedTexts. So if you have an iPhone, the easiest way to add your guests is going to be to download the WedTexts app. And within the app will sync directly with the web page version of WedTexts. And within the app, you can add your guests directly from your cell phone contacts list. So you can literally go in and you click through your contacts and they will add directly to your guest list. So you could do it from your phone and your fiance can do it from his or her phone, and that will add all of the guests that you guys have in your phones to your account. If you don't have an iPhone, then there's an app that's called SA Contacts. And what that app will do will actually take all the contacts from your cell phone and create what's like an Excel file with all of your contacts, and then you can upload that directly to the website. If you don't want to use the app to add your contacts, you can upload what's called a CSV file, which is like an Excel file, with your contacts directly to the WedTexts website. So this might be easier for some people who might be keeping their guest list organized already in some sort of spreadsheet. I know I did this for my wedding, and I had guest names and addresses and phone numbers already in an Excel spreadsheet. So if you have that, then uploading them this way might be the easiest way for you to do it. So it really depends on kind of how you're already organizing your guests and what you think will be the easiest way. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So if you go to your guest list and you click Add, you can add guests manually here if you wanted to. So if I wanted to add my mom, I could add her manually like this. And then I could select a group, and you can create new groups if these groups don't fit for you, or if you want different groups. You can create whatever groups you want. So I could add my mom manually like this, and click Update, and she would be added to my guest list, which you can see on the bottom left of your screen in the gray bar. That's the long way to do it. So we recommend using either the app or using the CSV file option. So if you choose to do the CSV file, you're going to click this blue bar down here that says Upload CSV File. I'm going to click that. And this is going to pop up. And this pop-up window tells you the format of the file that's going to make it upload without problem into WedTexts. So you want to have 3 columns in your file, a first name, last name, and then phone number. And you're going to want that to be a 10-digit phone number format. And this pop-up window shows you the formats that are acceptable. And it shows you the format of your CSV file. So it gives this little example down here at the bottom. So once you have your file ready in the correct format, you're going to click Select File. And where do I find the file? Okay, let's see. So I selected the file and click Upload Files. And you're going to get a pop-up that says Success. For some reason, it's not showing up for you guys. But okay, so what you'll see now in the left-hand bar, in the gray bar, is that I have a guest list now of all of the people that I had in my test file that got uploaded to my guest list. So if that had all of your guests in it, they would now all be into your WedTexts account with their names and phone numbers. So it really is a speedy, easy way to do it. It takes a little bit of prep for you kind of on the front end of making that file, but once you have it, you can get everyone in at the same time into your account. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the group function. So the group function on WedTexts is huge. And so what it allows you to do is create different groups where you can select certain messages to go to particular people in the groups. So if you just need to send a reminder to your bridesmaids, for example, that everyone needs to meet at this salon at 9 in the morning to start hair and makeup, then you can just set that message to be scheduled maybe the night before with the address and time and say, just send it to the bridesmaids. Or if you want to send a reminder to just people attending the rehearsal dinner, you can have a group that's just rehearsal dinner guests and remind them of the location and the time. If you just want to send it to the wedding party in general, maybe everyone has to be at the ceremony rehearsal at a particular time, location, you can send it to just them. So the group function is huge and really, really helpful. So I'm going to show you how to use the group function. So if you look again in the gray bar on the left-hand side, you'll see the groups. And if you click or hover over the Add button, you'll see it turns blue. And that's how you're going to create a group. So you're going to click Add. And this is where you can add your group name. So I'm going to say rehearsal dinner. Click Update. Hope I spelled rehearsal correctly. And you'll see now it's going to show up on the group tab on the left. So if I click on it, so now you'll see your guest list populate. And I'm going to scroll through so you can see. So these are all the guests that I've uploaded into my WedTexts account. So you now can go through and click in the radio buttons on the right hand side who you'd like to add to that group. Okay, so say I just wanted to add these first 5 people to the group. Clicking them will change the blank circle into a check mark, and that means they've added to the group. So if you see this green toggle button up here, if you click on the toggle to where it gets grayed out, now you'll see just the people that are in that group. You can toggle it back, and this again shows you all of your guests if you need to add any additional guests. So again, toggling it to gray shows you who you've selected. Toggling it to green allows you to add new people to the group. Okay. So the next thing that I'm going to show you guys is the blueprint. And we think that the blueprint is one of the most helpful features on WedTexts. And we've gotten some really great feedback from our users that the blueprint makes this process super easy for them. So again, if you go to your kind of gray bar on the left-hand side, this is where you're going to navigate through the website, and you click the blueprint. The blueprint has kind of some of the most common events related to weddings, and it allows you to go through each of these wedding events and add information, key information, and it'll generate a example text message for you. So I'll walk you through like 2 of these events, and I'll show you the features related to them as we walk through them. So let's do a hotel reminder. Okay, so I don't know about you guys, but for us, we had 3 different hotels that we had contacted and created wedding, what they call kind of like room blocks, and this allowed our guests to book a room at that hotel for a discounted rate. And how these room blocks typically work is you get the rate until a specific day, usually 30 to 60 days before your wedding, and then after that time, the rate goes away, and your guests have to pay whatever the typical rate is at that hotel for your wedding weekend. And this can be very drastic. So we know this firsthand. We went to a wedding in Savannah, Georgia that was a family member's wedding, and Caleb was supposed to book the hotel, and I had thought that he did it, and it was about a week before the wedding, and I checked in, and he had forgotten to do it. So the rate that we were supposed to get was about $200 per night at this hotel, and we ended up paying close to $400 a night because we missed the room block. So sending a reminder to your guests will make them love you so that they can remember to do this, because this can slip a lot of people's minds. And it will also reduce the amount of text messages you get or calls you get as the bride or groom about this. Because I know I got a bunch of these asking me, when does the room block end? Where are the hotels? Things like that. So doing this can really help you and help your guests. So let's pretend that we are staying at the Kelly Hotel. And the last day to book for that hotel, let's say for the room block, is May 5th. Okay. So once you put that information in, then you click preview message. And this is the message that comes up from the blueprint. So at the top, you can select which guests you want it to go to. So here it says all guests, but you could add, you could X out of all guests and just have it go to bridesmaids. But for this one, we want it to go to all guests. Okay. And then it suggests a time for you to send the message, but you can change that. So I want that message to go out on the Friday before it ends, and I'd like it to go out at noon. So maybe people will do this during their lunch break. So this is the preview of the message that the blueprint creates. So it says, hi everyone, we want to send you a quick reminder that the hotel room blocks end next week. If you need to book your room at the Kelly Hotel, please do so before May 5th. And it gives a reminder Friday. So if I don't like the way this says Friday, I want it to say Friday, I just edit it in there. If I don't like the format of the date, for example, and I want to change that and say May 5th, you can edit it. If you want to change anything else about it, you just edit it directly in here. And then you click schedule message. So this confirmation box is going to pop up, and it's going to tell you exactly when your message is going to be sent out. So here it says Friday, April 28th at 12 p.m. Who's going to receive it? So it's going to say all guests. And then it asks you to confirm the contents of the message. So it says, hi everyone, we wanted to send you a quick reminder that the hotel room blocks end next week. If you need to book your room at the Kelly Hotel, please do so before May 5th, 2017, which is Friday. So if you like everything, you approve who it's going to, when it's going to be sent, and the contents, then you would click confirm. And that message will show up in the messages tab. So it's that easy. All right, so now we're gonna go back to the blueprint and we're gonna do another one. So let's do the wedding ceremony, which is very important. So I said that my wedding was on May 27th, and the wedding is at 5 p.m. or the ceremony's at 5 p.m. So I changed that. Remember, if you need to change AM or PM, you just click the blue box. Okay, so you're gonna say the name of the venue. So maybe it's at the same venue as your reception, or maybe it's at a church or another location. So you put that in the venue name, and then you can put the address here. So you want to put as much information as you can in the address box, because this will become a clickable link for anyone who receives it as a text message. So if they're driving to the wedding, then this is a really easy way for them to get this text message and just click on the link in the text and go directly to the venue. So again, after you have the important information in, you're going to click Preview Message. And the same process that we just did. So who wants to receive the message, or who do you want to receive the message? All guests. When do you want them to receive it? So this is the date of the wedding. It's going to suggest that, but again, you could change it if you wanted it to go the night before or whenever. The wedding in this example is at 5 p.m., so we think sending it out around 10 a.m. is probably good. So here's the blueprint message. So it says, today is the day. Our wedding will begin at 5 p.m. at Elms Mansion. The address is 2000 St. Charles Avenue, New Orleans, Louisiana. Can't wait for the I do. So you can change this to make it more personalized to you if you don't like any of the information in here. So if I don't like it to say today is the day, you can say, we can't wait to see you tonight. If you want to remind them of anything else in the text message, like the wedding is outside, remember to bring a jacket. This wasn't necessary at our wedding. It was actually quite hot, so nobody needed a jacket. Everyone was taking their jackets off. But if you wanted to send that type of information, you could. So you can put anything in here that you want. Or you could delete it completely and put your own message there. Then you're going to click Schedule Message. Same process. You want to check that you approve when it's going to be sent out, who's going to receive it, and the contents of the message. Lastly, click the green Confirm box. And there you go. That's how you use the blueprint to schedule your messages. So you'll see now, if you look at the blueprint, the two that have check marks next to them show that we've already finished with those tasks. We've already sent messages related to them. So you don't have to send these messages if they don't apply to your wedding, or you just don't want to use WedTexts in that way. You don't have to, but we find that this helps couples kind of stay on track and making sure they send out all their necessary messages. Because these are the most common events that we find related to weddings. Okay. If the blueprint doesn't fit your needs, or you want to add messages that aren't captured in the blueprint, you can do that. So if you go over again to the gray bar on the left and you go to the Messages tab, click Add. This is where you can craft your own message. So you want to send a message to your groomsmen, for example, and you want to send it on Friday at 2 p.m. And you want to tell them that they need to remember to pick up their tuxedos. If maybe you're renting tuxedos for your wedding and you want to make sure your groomsmen remember to pick them up. So you might say, hi guys, remember to pick up your tuxedos by 6 p.m. on May 1st. We can't wait to celebrate with you next week. Whatever you want to say. Then you would click Schedule Your Message. Same process. Confirm date and time, who you want it to be sent to, and the contents. Click Confirm. And it pops up in your messages table. So you can use WedTexts however it fits your needs. Mostly what we found is that people are using it in usually the month up to their wedding and then during the wedding, but we really think WedTexts can be useful in many, many ways. So you can send messages asking people to RSVP if they are some slackers who aren't RSVPing on time. You can remind them to RSVP. If you're having any pre-wedding events like a bridal shower that you want to use WedText for, or I had a friend actually who when she sent her RSVP cards out to all the guests, the address on the back on the return envelope to her was wrong. So she wasn't getting any of the RSVPs, and she had to send out another set of envelopes. So she could have used WedText in that example maybe to let everyone know that another set was coming and kind of why another set was coming. But she ended up kind of texting all of us individually to say, did you get it? I'm sending another one, things like that. So WedText could have been really useful for her in that instance. You can also use WedText Live during your wedding weekend or any other time from the app or from the website. So we've got a couple really great stories for us, not so great stories always for the people that they've happened to, but WedText has saved the day a couple times. So one of my favorites actually happened at my cousin's wedding. She was having an event after the rehearsal dinner for all of her out-of-town guests to meet at a local bar to have some drinks and everyone spend some time together. And the bar that she told everyone to go to actually ended up closing early because somebody overflowed one of the toilets. So everyone had to switch locations, and we actually used WedText on the fly to send an updated message to all the guests, letting them know where we were going to instead. And so that was a great, easy way to communicate with all of the guests about a last-minute change. Another one of our WedText couples used WedText in a really unique way when the bride realized after the reception ended that she had lost a family heirloom by accident. So she had a rosary that she had on her bouquet that was her grandmother's rosary. And when she got back to her hotel room after the reception, she realized that the rosary was missing. So she sent a WedText out to all of the wedding guests saying that the bride has lost this rosary, and if anyone saw it, to please let her know. And about 5 minutes later, she received a personal text from someone saying, yep, we found the rosary, we'll bring it back to you in the morning. So that was a really unique way someone used WedText to kind of save the day that we wouldn't have thought of. So we were really excited to learn that we could be helpful to recover the family heirloom. So that's all I have for you guys tonight. Thank you for attending our first WedText webinar, and hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions about WedText, please feel free to contact us. We're always here to answer any questions for you. And we hope that you come back next month for our next webinar. Have a great night, guys. Thanks for stopping by.